What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope everyone has had a great start to the weekend. Hope you guys have had a great Saturday. I hope you guys are ready for a live, real 2023 fantasy football draft. It's that time of year. I mean, it's a little early. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. But we have so many leagues that we're running for the community this year that league number 1 for the redraft tournament drafted yesterday. Then league number 2 is drafting tonight. So I get it's a little bit early, but it's that time of year, ladies and gentlemen. So we're excited as ever to be here tonight. League number 1 was a blast last night. League number 2 tonight is also going to be a blast. Got some warnings that there's some issues with Sleeper tonight if you're drafting off your phone. So we will do our best to navigate around that. But ultimately, we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk some fantasy football. And we're hopping into a live draft. So I'm at the 1.11 in this league. Full PPR. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, double flex league, kicker, defense, and 5 bench spots. So 4 total leagues for the redraft tournament for the community. Total points scored will be very important. Each league will have their first, second, and third place respective winners. And then the 4 first place finishers, whoever scores the most points on the season out of those first place finishers, will win the tournament grand prize. Same thing we did last year. So I'm stoked. It's going to be a great year, guys. And I'm just super excited to get this going again. I'm excited to draft tonight. We're going to start in about 1 minute here. So I sent you guys a warning on Discord this morning. Sent you one on Sleeper like yesterday and today. I sent you guys a warning 15 minutes ago. So whether you guys are here or not, we're starting at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm excited. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe on the way in, because that will make me the happiest guy ever. And I will have one more YouTube subscriber. Make sure you guys hit that like. Let's try and get 1 million likes on the stream. But most importantly, guys, hop in the live chat. Let me know what's popping. Any fantasy football topics you guys have, any fantasy football questions you guys have. You know, it's getting closer and closer to real draft time for a lot of you guys. So let's get those questions going, speculation going, and like always, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk some fantasy football. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, draft is underway. So you guys have a minute per pick. Looks like we've got everyone at the moment except for Tommy, Mr. Sarcastic, and Prey. But I saw Prey in here earlier, so I'm sure everyone will make it, but I'll just kind of monitor the draft board. And, Mr. Sarcastic's here. And I know Prey's here. Tommy might be running late, so I'll let this go down, and if not, we'll give him the auto pick, but we'll see what happens. I have no idea what I'm going to do tonight. I will say I was pretty happy with my draft last night. I didn't really think a lot about it. I just kind of, went with my gut and picked players I liked when they were there. You know, I just didn't think. I just kind of did, if that makes sense. Try not to panic at all last night. And ultimately, I was pretty happy with last night's team. So hopefully I come out of this draft with the same feeling. But I might try and switch it up in this draft compared to what I did last night. I don't know. Okay, good. Looks like everyone's here, basically. All right, good luck, guys. It's going to be a fun league. It's going to be a fun year. Brandon, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Hello, hello. Taylor, what's up, bro? J Fitness, hello. James, what's going on, man? Chase Brown, what's up, what's up? Godfather, good to see you. Vincent, Pete's in the house. What's up, man? Always great to have you. Yeah, Steven's not here tonight. He won't be back till, week 1 of the season. We'll be live every Thursday before Thursday night kicks off. Thursday night football kicks off, I should say. But it was fun having Steven back. He was really excited, and I know he enjoyed seeing you guys, hearing from you guys, and he's really pumped to put together the kicker and defense videos this year, and to do those fantasy Q&As on Thursday as well. J-Dubs, Dom, what's up? Okay. I mean, I can... Yeah, I don't know what I was supposed to do. I mean, you got JJ. I'm not sure what to tell you, Tommy. Let's see. Andrea, what's going on? Good to see you. Okay. It's always hard to stream during a real draft because I don't want to sway the draft in any way. And I don't want anyone to start like taking the players I want. So I'm always like, what do I do? I guess I go over the players that have gone off the board so far, right? All right, so 3 wide receivers to start. I mean, just 4 wide receivers through the first 8 picks, so already a heavy running back draft tonight. Bijan, C-Mac, and Eckler, but I mean, all those guys are going to go in the first anyways. It's just kind of the order of things. Emil goes with Kelsey at the 1-6. I don't know, man. Going to be a lot of talent here at the 1.11. Terry, pick 4 in a full PPR. Where should I go? Chase, Kelsey, Hill, or Bijan? I mean, I'm probably going Bijan right there. But if Chase is... I don't know. I mean, if Chase is there, then you probably got to go Chase. I'm probably going Chase in full PPR. If he's there at pick 4... Man, I wanted to go Saquon. I'm not going to lie. I'll take CD here. I'll take CD Lamb. I wanted to go hero running back and see if I could start things off with Saquon. Only fitting that Prey would snipe me. All right, so last night's draft, I started with A.J. Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to switch it up in this league. I'm going to take Garrett Wilson. You know, I just want to have different exposure in each league. I mean, I love like an A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown start. I love a CD Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown start as well. I'm going to go double receiver here. I'm going to take Lamb and Wilson, and I like that combo a lot. Mr. Sarcastic says Lance about to cook the ponies. I didn't even like really pay attention to what preseason games were on tonight. I know the Chiefs and Cardinals. We have a ton on. Bucks, Jets, Titans, Vikings, Chiefs, Cardinals. Is Trey Lance in against? I mean, it's the third quarter. Man, Amon-Ra is slipping. Someone's going to get a... Yeah, I mean, that is a smash pick at the 2.5. I mean, like I said, I'm just trying to get some different exposure, but still, Amon-Ra at the 2.5 is like... What a great selection for boxing the jack. Don't give away strategies, just review teams after. I mean, yeah, I don't really mind, you know. I don't really have a strategy for this draft. I mean, I was thinking like I wanted to go hero running back. Ooh. Emil goes with the Patty Kelsey stack. So this is interesting, right? Because in every mock, you know, we don't really see quarterbacks going until the 3rd round, right? But so far through the first 2 real drafts, we've seen Patrick Mahomes gone in the 2nd round. There goes Josh Allen. Okay, it's getting interesting. Emil says Kelsey will win your league this year. Very well could. Pete says, should have won Tucker. Kicker's always first. We had a pretty early Justin Tucker selection last night. Tommy, I'm sorry, man. Hey, I mean, you can't be too sad that you got JJ, right? But good. I'm glad things are working. Looks like we're running smoothly now. Everyone's good to go. Yeah, Cup Almond Raw is a great start. Love that. I mean, even Cup at 1.8 is a pretty good value. I mean, Patrick and Kelsey can probably win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to dispute that. Pray, how do you like your start? Saquon and Adams. How's everyone feel through the first 2 rounds? So second round wrapped up here. 4 running backs: Chubb, Pollard, Henry, and Gibbs. 2 quarterbacks in the second: Mahomes and Allen. And then we got Wilson, Adams, St. Brown, Waddle, Olave, and Devonta Smith. I have no idea what I want to do with my next 2 picks. Calvin Ridley, I like that pick, Tommy. See, I think you still got a great start, Tommy. I mean, you wanted Bijan, but there are actually people out there arguing that Gibbs could have a better rookie season than Bijan. For the sake of argument. Then you get 2 stud wide receivers. I like that start a lot for you, Tommy. Hurts is gone. Shane says, really hoping Amon-Ra would fall 1 more spot. It was close. I mean, I still like Waddle right there, but yeah, Amon-Ra feels like a smash. I mean, like generally, I'm probably going with Amon-Ra there in the second. And a lot of times, Lamb is already gone. But once again, I was thinking of going Barkley and then going wide receiver in the second. And I probably would have gone, I don't know. Maybe I would have got Amon-Ra there. But yeah, I mean, great value there at the 2.5. But Katz goes with Pollard. Like, I love that pick. You can't really hate on going Devontae Adams either. So, all right, second tight end off the board and Mark Andrews. Tommy, did I reach on Gibbs? No. I mean, the way you got to look at that is like the 2.12, 3.1 is like essentially a third round pick. One of them displays as a second round pick, but at the end of the day, if you took Ridley at the 2.12, we've seen that in enough mocks. You took Gibbs at the 3.1, we've seen him as a third rounder, but we've also seen Gibbs as a late second rounder. So no. And that's the thing. You got to go out and get your guys. So no. And that's the thing. Again, you're drafting at the 3.1 turn. You're not drafting again until the 4.12. If you don't take Gibbs there, you have no shot at getting them, right? Dang. Bossman says he wanted Gibbs at the 3.2. So, I mean, yeah, he would have been gone, essentially 1 selection later. So, I don't think you reached it at all. All right, Higgins and Debo gone. There goes Ramondre. So I took Ramondre at the 3.12 last night, and I felt pretty good about that. There goes Jacobs. So Jonathan Taylor ended up going pretty early last night. So I'm curious to see where he goes. There goes Coop. I like that triple wide receiver start. I'm really torn on what I want to do with this next selection. Because once again, it's similar. We just talked about, Tommy needing to go out and get his guys at that turn. I mean, I'm not truly at the, the turn, but I essentially am, having the 11th overall pick. I'm not really in a spot here where, I don't know. There goes JT. That could be a heck of a start. I feel like there are enough players here. I don't really care who's selected. But I'm thinking about getting a little crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Pray you're on the clock. I'm torn on this pick. I'm really torn, guys. Really torn. I'm going to take Kenny. I know. He's my favorite running back available. It's against ADP. There are a couple players here I was really strongly considering. A couple different methods, but I don't know what running backs are going to come back to me at the 5'11", 6'2" turn. Running backs dried up pretty quickly last night. It's already been a pretty heavy running back draft. I probably should have gone Walker there, but the next player that I'm probably going to draft is against ADP as well, so like I don't know. I don't know if it really matters. Dom, there are only like 4 established running backs who aren't injury prone and without contract situations who are elite. Yeah, I mean, I think it was last year there wasn't a single running back drafted in like the first 7 or 8 rounds other than maybe it was going into last year. Yeah, it was going into last year. I think other than, ironically enough, Jonathan Taylor, who didn't miss like at least one game or have some sort of injury. Yeah, that was going into last year. But I don't know this past year. I mean, it's always a position that has a rampant amount of injuries. At what point does Jonathan Taylor become a steal? I mean, I would probably say the 4th round. Him and Jacobs, like at that point, are definitely steals. But end of the 3rd, like the 3-7 for Jacobs, 3-9 for Taylor, I still think are really good values. So I'm kind of conflicted here because part of me wants to go double running back, but I'm going to take my boy DJ Moore. You know, I mean, I talk about it so much, and I do like Najee right there a lot. I think it's a good value for Prey. But, you know, in these double flex, full PPR formats, the wide receiver position is just so important. And this is basically how I started last night through the first 4 rounds. 3 wide receivers and 1 running back. So I feel pretty good right now. But I guess I didn't end up changing things too much compared to last night. I mean, the players are a little bit different, but last night I started with A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra, Ramondre Stevenson, and DJ Moore, so this build's almost exactly the same. Feels different, though. I thought about switching it up a tad bit here, but I just stuck to the game plan. All right, Lamar Action Jackson's gone. Tommy says K9. No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he may have made it back to you. I still believe in Walker quite a bit, if you can't tell. Last night I was wanting to go double running back and go Ramondre and Walker. And Steven took Walker pretty early last night. You know, that's... No, that's not true. I passed on Walker. He went in the 4th last night. Never mind. Because Steven took Ridley in the 3rd. But I don't have a problem with the pick. You know, that's always the interesting thing is, yeah, I mean, there goes Christian Kirk in the 4th. Kirk went at the 6.1 last night. You know? Like we've got early quarterbacks tonight. You know, every draft is different. Convictions are different. It's just, that's the fun of it, right? What are your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley stack? I'm all for it. You know, I think T-Law is going to have a great season. But if you want a cheaper value, just get Christian Kirk. I mean, Kirk goes 1 round later than Ridley tonight, so it depends on how you look at it. But like I said, in last night's draft, Kirk went in the 6th round, so it just depends. Pray, I haven't watched or read anything fantasy for like a month. I'm drafting blind. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Jerry was basically the same way last night. But I mean, you're not off to a bad start by any means. Vincent says, John, I want to draft Bijan at the 1-9 in a Dynasty Superflex League. Talk me out of it. I mean, like the way you have to kind of look at it is more than likely if you draft Bijan, you're probably getting like a player kind of equivalent to like Saquon Barkley's trajectory, would be my best guess at it. So, RB1 in his rookie season, then RB10, then hurt in 2020. I'm not necessarily saying Bijan will get hurt, but RB30 through 13 games 2021 got hurt again, then RB5 last year. So, a player who's going to be able to be productive when healthy in any season, right? Top 10 potential in any season as long as he's healthy, in my opinion. And, the downside is, while that's still valuable, of course, and the running back position is still valuable in a dynasty format, it's still a position you have to fill on a weekly basis. The running back position as a whole, in my opinion, is still the least valuable position in dynasty formats. And essentially all of my dynasty leagues this year I either went hero running back or zero running back, because over time you just can't trust backfields. Like, I think you're going to be able to trust, what Bijan's going to bring to the table. But once again, Arthur Smith, who knows how long Arthur Smith will be the head coach of the Falcons, but he likes to run the football, and he's going to utilize more than one running back over time. Bijan's going to be the lead back, but they run the football so much, Algier's still going to get some sort of touches. And I'm super high on Bijan. You guys know that. Bijan's my RB1, but it's like, from a dynasty perspective, and, especially because it's a super flex format, like, yeah, you got to go quarterback, in my opinion. Wide receiver, I think you can debate, because wide receiver and quarterback are going to be the most important pieces in terms of building that foundation long term. And generally speaking, in a lot of dynasty formats, of course, context matters, your league format matters, but at the end of the day, a lot of leagues play 3 wide receivers. So I think you can argue wide receiver, but for me, like, quarterback is where I'm going in the first round. But I always tell you guys, trust your gut, follow your convictions. Like, if you're going to take a running back in the first round, of course it's Bijan. But I typically just gravitate towards the quarterback position. I think right now, when you look at running backs, like, it's just so hard to trust backfields right now. My computer's trying to restart on me. Zeke gets replaced by Pollard, right? Tajay Spears behind Henry. The Lions' backfield, like, the whole room is different than it was last year. Zeke's on the Patriots now behind Ramondre. Jacobs a question mark. JT's a question mark. Charbs is behind Walker now. Tank Bigsby behind ETN. Warren behind Harris, having like 60-yard rushing touchdowns in preseason. Breece Hall has Dalvin Cook and they drafted Izzy, and Michael Carter was the presumed starter before they drafted Breece Hall, Sanders in Carolina, like, Chuba was a guy, I guess. Madison took like 7 years to get going. Mixon has been kind of a question mark. Now you got Chase Brown behind them. It's just like backfield to backfield. It's just, you're kind of pulling in so many directions. Like, don't get me wrong, Bijan, C-Mac, Eckler, Barkley, and probably Chubb all in the best positions, and probably Pollard to a degree as well. And I still think Henry, even with Tajay Spears there, is probably fine. But you get what I'm saying. Like, these backfields just change so drastically so quickly. And I don't think that'll happen to Bijan, but it's just, the point being is that the nature of the running back position is a bit volatile overall. You get what I'm saying? All right. I don't know what I'm going to do with these next 2 picks, man. I like this start. I don't know what I'm going to do with these next 2 picks. See what happens. Chase, Mike Williams or Deontay Johnson in Dynasty? Would you trade away Williams for Johnson 1-for-1? I gosh, that's close. Chat, what do you guys think? Mike Williams or Deontay Johnson? I mean, Deontay is still 27 going into his 5th year. He's been productive. Hasn't been perfect, but he's been productive. He's definitely had less injuries than Mike Williams. Mike's going to his 7th year at age 29. I mean, probably part of a better offense, I would say, if you're win now, then maybe go Mike Williams. If you're looking a little longer term, you go Deontay, but it's pretty close there. So if Brandon Ayuk was available at the 5'11", I was probably going to go Ayuk. I didn't think he'd be, but I'm almost kind of do you ever get relieved when one of the players you want gets selected? Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. Because there's like 3, maybe 4 guys that I'm eyeing right here. And that just kind of helps eliminate one of them. You know what I'm saying? Give me T-Law, baby. You know, last night I went late round quarterback. I wanted an earlier round quarterback tonight. I was very close to going Justin Fields at the 311 and stacking him with DJ Moore. I don't think stacks are like crazy important in just redraft formats or anything, but I was really close to doing it. Really, really close. Because I just want Fields in the league this year. I'm very high on Fields. You guys know that. I'm also very high on T-Law. So I'll take him there. Probably a better value. And I think at the 6'2", there are a lot of wide receivers here that I still like. There goes Herbie. But I think ultimately I might go with my RB2 here. John, what do you think Waller will do with the big blue? I mean, if he's healthy, he'll be productive. But, you know, while there aren't a ton of, like, overly attractive wide receiver names on that depth chart, there are a ton of wide receivers on the Giants. Like, a ridiculous amount of wide receivers. And, you know, Brian DeBall coming from the Bills, right? Great offensive coordinator. A guy who likes to throw the football. Have his offense throw the football. And give me Rachaad White there. But the Giants are definitely going to want to continue to progress in that offense from what they had last year. Progress Daniel Jones, throw the football more. So Darren Waller is going to be a piece of that, but so are all those wide receivers. I mean, I like Waller. I get it, but his injury history spooks me. You know, he's going into his 9th season. He played 9 games last year. He played 11 games in 2021. It just spooks me. That's all. So I do think if you go after him, you draft a second tight end later on. But it's going to take a little bit of time, really, for that offense, Daniel Jones, to kind of get acclimated with each other, I think, at least. There's just so many different options there. Pray with the double Seahawks wide receiver room. I like it. Cat says, Josh Allen follows me in the 3rd every mock. You guys take him the 2nd today. That's how it goes. Ramon, had my draft long awaited today. Have PPR number 7. Tyreek Diggs. Nice. Taylor Olave, Sanders, first 5 rounds. Whew. Lawrence and Tua QB Waller tight end. I mean, yeah, looks very solid. Tommy, I hesitated on quarterback there. John was nervous the top one wouldn't make it back. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like I said, I almost went Fields at 311. because I knew he wouldn't make it back to me, you know? So I think going with him at the 5-1 is fine. He's been a 5th rounder anyways. That's a fine value. I don't have a problem with it at all. Yeah, we can't have an update right now, J-Dubs. Vincent, if I can get Fields or Herbert, but I'm looking at Watson at 1.9, would Deshaun be more valuable than Bijan the next 7 years? You know, that's the thing. You might be able to get Deshaun in the second. So, like, if you're kind of falling into that next tier of quarterbacks and you think you can get, you know, Deshaun or Dak or Tua in the second round, then I think it's okay to go with the skill position player at the 1.9. But you just have to be conscientious that, like, you know, you might take a slight hit at the QB1 position, which is just so important in super flex formats, you know. But yeah, if you think you can get one of those guys in the second round and go Bijan at 1.9, I think it's okay. I just prefer a quarterback. But, you know, yeah, if no quarterbacks are sitting there, then maybe you make that move. You just have to evaluate things and see who you can get, you know, moving into the second. I mean, I'm assuming it's a 12-team league, Vincent. So at the 2-4, there's still a chance. And then, you know, heading into the 3-9-4-4, still a chance you can get a guy like Daniel Jones, just maybe Jared Goff, you know. But that's kind of the thing. I mean, that's why so many people want third-round reversal and super flex startup mocks or startup drafts. GT Sport, which 2 running backs, Pacheco, Connor, Cook, White, or Madison in Dynasty? I mean, if you're asking me, Pacheco and White, the youngest backs there, and they're just as replaceable as everyone else. So, like, in terms of a level of concern, yeah, I mean, I just go Pacheco and White. Uncle Ted talks Kenneth Walker third. That's right, bro. That's how we do it. Cats, Ayuk's going to be dangling your DM shortly. Spicy take of the night. You are going to think I'm absolutely lost it, but I can see a scenario where Calvin Ridley does better than Devontae Adams, better coach, better QB, and better team. I mean, I don't think that's crazy. I mean, don't think it's crazy if Adams performs better, though. I think with Ridley, like, you know, I like Ridley as much as the next guy, and I get the Ridley hype. I still think we want to slightly pump the brakes. I mean, you know, Adams going from Carr to Garoppolo, but Adams has been a top 3 wide receiver in fantasy the last 3 seasons. So, you know, Ridley hasn't played football since 2021. But was your wide receiver 5 in 2020? Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I mean, definitely a better quarterback, better offense overall, better head coach. So don't get me wrong. Appreciate it, Brendan. Yeah, I mean, Jags definitely have a chance to be Super Bowl contenders. But, man, the AFC is just, it's locked and loaded, man. Space Ghost, what's good, bro? Just had the best mock at the 3. J.J. Wilson, Hurts, Higgins. Yeah, how are you even drafting that team? In a 12-teamer? What do you got on Kenneth Walker? Well, if you're asking what I like about Walker's, I just think in that range, like right now, Walker, Etienne, Harris, Stevenson, you know, so in a lot of these drafts, a lot of mock drafts that we've been doing, like, you know, at the 111, 112, where I've been practicing, like, you know, it's a full PPR format, a double flex format. So I really value the wide receiver position over anything. So it's hard for me to go like Barkley, Chubb, or Pollard. You know, if Eckler or Bijan falls out to that range, like, you have to take them. But I just think the wide receiver value there with guys like Lamb, A.J. Brown, Wilson, Amon-Ra, Adams, it's just too hard for me to pass on. So I've been starting a lot of these drafts from the 111, 112 with 2 wide receivers, and then I'm kind of looking at that range of Ramondre Stevenson, Kenneth Walker, Travis Etienne, Najee Harris as my kind of hero running back guys, because I still think all of those guys have the capacity to finish as in the top 5 easily. I know it sounds crazy, but I do think they're all in situations where at worst they can be top 10 running backs. So selecting them as my first running back doesn't bother me. And with Walker, I know people are worried because they drafted Charbs and everything, but I'm just not worried. I think Charb's going to be very involved. He's going to catch a lot of passes, might here and there take some goal line work. But I still think when you look at Walker and, the amount of double digits he scored last year, just overall 1,000 rushing yards through 15 games, 9 touchdowns through 15 games, just very productive. I personally think the Seahawks offense is going to improve upon what they did last year. So I've just been a Walker fan. I'm not worried about the groin injury or anything. Running backs get hurt. They get banged up in the offseason is what it is. So I've just been high on Walker. And really, I said it during those picks at the 3-11 and 4-2 is like, I'm drafting 2 guys against ADP. Like, who am I more worried about going here? I don't really know. I'm just going to take Walker off the board. And, whether I went DJ Moore or Walker there, like they're both against ADP. But, it's interesting thing is, we run so many mock drafts throughout the offseason. We start mock drafting after the Super Bowl ends. We watch the ADP shifts all offseason long. We get used to them. And just like last night's draft, going into today's draft, or tonight's draft, I should say, the ADP it still matters, and it's always a good guideline, but people are going to go out and trust their gut, go with their convictions, go with the players that they think are going to be the most productive, and we definitely have a draft board tonight that represents that. Vincent, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you being part of the community. Hopefully I went enough in depth with your question. Let me know if there's anything else I can get into for you. Okay, I'm not prepared for these next picks at all. Oh, dude, I finally got him in the draft. I got Zay. Let's go. Finally got Zay Flowers in something. I'll take it. It's going to be an interesting draft, I think. This definitely ended up being a heavy running back draft. Space Ghost, 10-team CMC, and Chase went 1 and 2. I mean, yeah, that's a crazy start even for a 10-teamer. Tommy, I think Javonte as a RB3 is okay right there. Dude, we haven't got hit with a spam bot in like so long. I'm kind of excited about that. All right. This is a tough pick, so I want to go running back here. Dalvin Cook, AJ Dillon, Antonio Gibson. I don't really know who I like the best out of these guys. I don't know why. I'm going to go Dalvin Cook. Don't ask me why. That one I have nothing to back up with. I don't know. I'm just thinking Jets, good offense. Hall's been banged up. Dillon and Gibby are still in committees. Jets offense maybe brings more upside. I don't know. Just give me Cook. I don't have a reason for it. I do think, forever, don't ask me why I say this, but I think it's always good to have one pick in your draft where you're like, I'm not going to use any logic. I'm just going to take this player. Because then you're kind of defying your own, convictions and everything. And sometimes we're not always correct. So, I don't know. Give me Dalvin Cook. JSC, it's amazing how things change within a year. JT was the 1.1 a year ago, and now you can literally get him as your RB3 is absolutely insane to me. Yeah, I mean, the times, they change quickly, don't they? I mean, even look at Saquon was like a second rounder last year. You know, I mean, these things just they change quickly, right? But yeah, the JT situation is very interesting, and I do think the one advantage that we kind of or you guys ended up getting was we did draft early this year for league number 1 last night, league number 2 tonight. These are early drafts overall in comparison to how we usually run things, but like we have at least 4 more drafts that I need to run for the community before August, so or before September, excuse me. So like there's only so many dates we can get everybody together. But I think as each day and each week goes on, we might have maybe a clearer answer, or getting closer to a clearer answer on Jacobs and Taylor. But yeah, man, it's like those guys could end up being phenomenal values. Cannon, no problem at all, man. Yeah, I was very close to kind of reaching on Jahan Dotson. With the 5'11", 6'2", if Ayuk was there at the 5'11", I was considering going super heavy at wide receiver and going Ayuk at the 5'11", Dotson at the 6'2", but that didn't happen. Vincent says love Zay and Tank Dell. Yeah, I like both those guys. Chase says better be Gibson. Yeah, like I said, don't ask me why, but I took Cook. What do you like about White and Pacheco? I mean, when it comes to White, the receiving upside is there, especially if Baker is the starting quarterback. Baker dumped the football off more than any other quarterback in the league last year, although he did play less than a lot of quarterbacks overall. When you look at what Akers was able to do as a starting running back with Baker at the helm, you could see a similar scenario here. So, Rachaad White, 50 receptions in his rookie season. He's the RB1, clear cut. Is it a great offense? You don't really know. I mean, Baker's the starting quarterback. Kyle Trask might get involved. But, I mean, you still got Godwin, Evans, Kate Otten here. Like, there are pieces. Gage is out for the year, so that hurts. He's still a good wide receiver 3. But, yeah, I mean, I just think the receiving upside is there for Rachaad White. So, he had those 50 receptions, and he didn't even really play till week 10. So, I mean, he had some receiving work leading up to that, but a majority of those receptions were week 10 and after. So, Isaiah Pacheco, I do think it's interesting that a lot of people are out on Isaiah Pacheco. Maybe like rehabbing from the shoulder surgery or whatever, I could get it. But, once again, similar to White, he didn't really start till week 11. It may have been week 10, actually. But once he started to get going, week 10 through week 18, double digits every game except for 2. He's kind of the opposite of White. He doesn't bring the receiving upside. But ultimately, tied to a good offense, which, some people can argue is like it's better. Like White, maybe tied to a bad offense, Pacheco tied to a good offense. Both scenarios can have positives and negatives, And with Pacheco, yeah, there are a lot of players on this team who are going to end up scoring touchdowns. It's just the way an Andy Reid-led offense navigates. It's just the way that Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position, that's the way the offense is going to navigate, right? You're going to have like players you haven't really even thought about scoring touchdowns. But I still think Pacheco, 5 rushing touchdowns in his rookie season. Like I said, didn't really get going until the second half of the year. Just in a good position to be consistent. Do I think the ceiling's super high with Pacheco? Probably not, due to the reasons we just went over. But ultimately, when it comes to Pacheco, consistency I think will be there. So, like Mr. Sarcastic has him as an RB3 behind Swift and C-Mac with Cook as an RB4. I love that. J-Dub says, 8th round Pittman, I'm fist pumping. Yeah, I will say Pittman at the 8-1 is a great value. Gibson falling out to the 9-4 was a really good value as well. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea who I'm going with these next 2 picks. I was hoping Sutton would fall out. I didn't think he was going to, but. Oh, so Devontae Shane got hurt today. Injured his shoulder. So that's a bummer. One of my favorite kind of dead zone running backs. And we won't really have a clear update until tomorrow. So drafting Devontae Shane is like risky business, you know? There goes Bateman. I can't believe I have Dalvin Cook on my team. All right, I'm going to take the doobie before anyone else can take him, which is basically just Joseph. It's the only person in front of me, but I do believe Romeo Dobbs is going to have a really good year, so I want him on this team. This next pick for me, I'm really torn on, but I think I know what I'm doing. I think I have to go this route. But there are a couple players available that I like. I will say if Jerick McKinnon was there, I'd probably go McKinnon. But I need a tight end. I'm going to go Njoku tonight. Komet, really the only other name that I have faith in as a tight end 1. The other guys I like, but full faith in Njoku or Komet. All right, so I'm okay with this start tonight. I'm feeling all right. I do need that big season out of Zay Flowers, though. Oh, no, Cats didn't get Gabe Davis. Where'd he go? To Shane? Nice. Yeah, Pittman definitely getting slept on, Chase. Rob, wish me luck. My draft is tomorrow at 12 noon, 12-team PPR. Yeah, man. Good luck. We're rooting for you, bro. Chase, you got the 1.1 and 10 team. Who are your ideal first 3 picks? And a 10-teamer. I mean, things can get spicy real quick. But that's part of the fun. You know, at the 1.1, I'm going JJ. Then at the next turn, ideally Pollard falls out. If he doesn't, then you're probably looking at Henry or Gibbs, which is okay still, of course. And then I think you get a third wide receiver, whether it's Devonta Smith or Calvin Ridley. I think you go with those guys. You know, the positional advantage at quarterback is nice and very appealing right there. But I think you hold off because you're going to be able to get like Herbert, T-Law, Burrow, Fields, whoever in like the 5th or 6th turn. 5th round, 6th round turn, I should say. So, I mean, every league's different, but just looking at ADP based off some of the ones we've done, I probably am going JJ. Then trying to get that hero running back, Henry or Pollard, Gibbs, and then going Ridley or Devonta Smith would be my answer. Coast to Coast, good to see you, bro. Yeah, boxes hit some good value tonight, especially the Amon-Ra pick. Chase, my QB1 drafts look good tonight. Tommy, hesitate on OBJ or Lazard. Also, Charbs are handcuffing Williams with Pirine. I mean, I like that you got Charbs, personally. OBJ versus Lazard, I don't think it's going to kill you or anything. How do you feel about having JJ and Madison? That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You know, I mean, I think running backs and wide receivers on the same team is no problem. Chiefs have the lowest run percent inside the 10-yard line in the NFL. Absolutely. Everyone wants to see a Jamar Charles role in Kansas City. It just isn't there. That's fair. Yeah, I think for me, I don't think he is the best like RB2. I think if you have to filter him in, it's fine. But I like him in that RB3 range still. I just think the consistency is there. The ceiling's not crazy high, but I do think that Pacheco's a pretty safe value. But yeah, once they get inside that 10-yard line, you have no idea what they're going to do. Boss man, glad that B-Rob goes before Gibson in real drafts, how it should be. It's going to be interesting to see those two, man. Yeah, I mean, Gibson fell out tonight. I almost went Gibson at the 8-2. J Fitness Dobbs was on my queue. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm glad I took him then. You know, that kind of range of wide receivers there. Sky Moore, Sutton, Dobbs. I wanted one of them badly. Very badly. So I'm glad that Dobbs came to me. Sir Bonks a lot. Good to see you. What's up? What's up? Godfather, have a great night, man. Hope the baby's okay. And a 10-man Olave might be there. That's true as well. I don't know. Yeah, Olave is fine there as well. Chase, I've been able to get 3 wide receivers of some combo. JJ, Waddle, Higgins, Olave, Smith are at that turn when I mock. I will say this 10-team league is a bit noob at fantasy, so I can take advantage of the value. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. But yeah, I mean, it is difficult. Like in full PPR, you're starting with JJ, so like you're getting a smash play there. Then at that turn, like you can get like 2 other guys who easily have the potential to finish as top 10 wide receivers. It's hard to pass on 2 more. You know what I'm saying? Because you can still kind of hit that mid-round running back range and get really good running backs. But I will say if Pollard's there, he's the guy I feel really good about if you do go running back at that turn. If you pass on the other 2 that I think could be there, in Henry or Gibbs, like I still really like them. But I could get why you'd want to go triple wide receiver. Dom, first 3 picks in a half PPR 10-team league, I'm keeping Pollard. Ooh. At the 1.5. Yeah, being able to, go into your draft knowing that you have Pollard is huge. You're at the 1.5. I mean, if Bijan falls, you have to go Bijan. Especially in half PPR. So I go Bijan. If he's not there, like you can still go running back. You can still go Eckler. And then, you're just kind of using that Pollard pick to your advantage. Like he's your RB2, which is phenomenal. If you can get Bijan there, that's a smash play because then you have Bijan and Pollard going into the year. It's just phenomenal. So I think you go Bijan and then the 2 best wide receivers at the next 2 picks. Olave, Waddle, Adams at the 2.6. Maybe Smith falls out to the 3.5. Probably not. That is kind of a difficult place because then you're kind of looking at, like, if Higgins is there, that's fine. But then you move into the next tier of, like, Metcalf, DJ Moore, Cooper. I mean, I'm not against those guys there, but you could see available players like Jacobs and JT. But then, like, you're, like, super loaded at running back, which might not be necessary. So, on the vice versa, you could go, like, Hill at 1.5, knowing that you have Pollard. And then, like, I've seen some drafts where Barkley's there at the 2.6, but we probably won't be there. So you could go, like, Hill, Waddle, and then get, like, Gibbs, Jacobs, JT at the 3.5 to pair with Pollard. So it just kind of depends. All right. How many more selections do we have? Grossest pick of the night. I just drafted Devin Singletary. Absolutely disgusting. Let's go Texans. I mean, Start's interesting there. Don't get me wrong. So is Jeff Wilson. Yeah, I like the Start pick. I mean, at least he's tied to a better offense. Give me Kenny. Yeah, I just have some running back issues on this team. I mean, my season is really relying on CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, which I'm okay with. But I knew I just kind of had to go with like two running backs there who maybe I didn't. I was really hoping Damian Harris would fall out. I like Harris in that range. But what are you supposed to do when you're drafting with cats? Tommy, double tight end. Couldn't help myself. Got the stack. Love me some Kincaid. I like it. Yeah, I think that was actually, those were pretty good moves for you, bro. I like your team so far. I agree, Andrea. Dak in the 11th round. I mean, he's just always there, right? He fell pretty far. I think he went in the 11th round last night as well. Cat's picking his dynasty team. Gotta go out and get your boys, right? So I think, the interesting thing is last night I went late round quarterback, and I think that had a huge impact on my skill position players. Dang, an early Tucker pick tonight as well. It always happens. I mean, I think Tucker went in like the 10th or 11th last night, but you can't dispute it. Tucker is going to get selected before a team finishes out their skill position players. It's just bound to happen. All right, Isaiah Hodgins gone. I like that pick. All right, guys. So most of us just kicker and defense and one more skill position guy. I mean, you're allowed to forfeit kicker and or defense for now if you want. But you're going to have to drop 1 to 2 players if you do so. I might do that. I mean, I don't dislike this team by any means, but I don't know. Who's more valuable, Tucker or Singletary? Probably Tucker. Box, my RBs make me want to throw up. Dobbins, Akers, McKinnon. I mean, those are all decent values where you got them. Mitchell and Hunt. Yeah, I mean, you're just getting slapped left and right with good wide receiver value, and then you got Burrow in the 5th, so I get it. And kind of the area you were drafting, you kind of kept hitting tier breaks. Like, you could have gone JT at the 3-8. Or maybe you go like ETN Harris Walker if you like one of those guys. But then all those guys got selected before the 4-5, so you'd have to go with like Hall, Sanders, Madison. Then by the time you picked at the 5-8, Hall through Pierce were gone. Yeah, you kind of got it. Where you're drafting it, just the running back tiers were breaking for you each time. When you went Burrow, then you finally moved into the next tier, hit Dobbins. So, I mean, I actually think Cam Akers was a good value at the 7-8. Tommy, you got your boy Tank Dell. Let's go. I almost took him with one of my last 2 picks, not going to lie. I took him last night, but I felt like grabbing awful running backs was a better idea. Except for Kenneth Gainwell, he's the best. By the way, guys, I'm going to go over each team at the end of the draft in order, so don't worry. Tommy gets his hometown quarterback. That's right. J Fitness, your team's too good. I got to save it for last. I was thinking about drafting Dalton Kincaid if he fell back out to the end of the 11th. But I knew with Tommy on the board, he wasn't going to. I think I know who I'm taking with this next pick. There goes Zay Jones. Pray, who are you picking? Don't pick players that I like. All right, guys, good draft tonight. I can live with this team. Give me Shaheed. I'm happy I finally got Zay Flowers in a draft. That's all I have to say. I think I am going to go with another wide receiver here. And then go defense or kicker at that last pick. And then just end up dropping someone before the season starts. All right, there goes Mingo. And who is J Fitness going to pick next? It's going to be a football player. I think I'm going to make an out-of-pocket selection. I want to go Jalen Hyatt here because he scored a preseason touchdown. That's my whole reason for drafting him. All right, once the 14th round wraps up, I'll start looking at teams. Those final selections probably won't impact your guys' roster reviews too much. And if they do, we'll go back and we'll take a look. Mr. Sarcastic going in on the quarterbacks. Yeah, the drafts go by fast, Tommy. I mean, this draft actually, last night's draft only took like 45 minutes. I can't believe we actually got bots in the chat tonight. I haven't seen that in so long. Butt kicker's gone. Jacob, thoughts on Mark Andrews? Andrews is fine. You know, I wouldn't overly reach for him, but third round is fine. You know, I think Andrews can definitely get back to what we saw, or close to what we saw in 2021. I mean, tight end one's a little steep, but he can get close. You know, really his main competition is, of course, going to be Kelsey, but, you know, when you look at last year, he was on that pace. 10 points, 25 points, 28 points. 3.5 points a stinker against Buffalo, but then 22, 23 points. And he got hurt. And then Lamar went down week 13. And then once again, between those weeks, 12, 11, 9 points. And then he dipped out, basically. So Lamar did not have that bad of a year. Obviously, Andrews did not have that bad of a year. Is obviously you're tied in 4. So, he should be healthy. Lamar should be healthy. It's a Todd Monken-led offense now. At the end of the day, they're going to throw the football much more. It's going to be a different offense. You got Flowers there. You got Odell there. Hopefully Bateman's healthy. Dobbins should be healthy. But at the end of the day, they're going to throw the football more. You know who that number 1 target's going to be for Lamar. He's already got the chemistry with Andrews. And, Andrews was on pace to finish as the top 2 tight end. He still finished as tight end 4 last year. So, he was hurt. Lamar was hurt. The play calling was awful. He's fine. Chase, we let John get all his guys. Need to give him chances here. Dude, I was so stoked last night. I was like, every time it was my turn to pick, I was like, oh, my guys are here. It was a great time. Mixie shot. Just finished a mock. This is what I came out with. Bijan, CD Jones, DJ Moore, Miles, Kirk, Freiermuth, Kirk, A-Shane, Kirk Cousins, A-Shane, Niners defense, Boyd, Graham, Gano. It looks very good to me. Depends on the format, of course, but yeah. I would be pretty happy with that draft. Jacob, rate this team, 12-team, half PPR. Josh Allen, Keenan Allen, Judy, CMC, Swift, Andrews, Dotson. Pretty solid. For a half PPR, I'm fine with Swift as a RB2. Quarterback solid. Tight end is solid. Wide receivers aren't my favorite. I like Dotson in the flex. Keenan Allen's fine. You're going to get consistency there. Judy is okay as well. They're just not my favorite. There's probably guys who may have been available that I like more, but they're perfectly okay. But, Allen could see an uptick in fantasy this year. Kellen Moore is offensive coordinator. Herbert's actually going to be healthy this year. And Judy, of course. A lot of people have a lot of faith in Judy performing very well this year. Sean Payton-led offense. Russell Wilson should improve, all that stuff. So I don't think it's awful. I do like Dawson in the flex, like your running backs, like your quarterback and tight end, obviously. So pretty solid team. All right, I will take the defense 1 from last year. Defense 2 the year prior all day long. Give me the Bill Belichick squad. All right. Team reviews. Thank you guys for the draft. Let's go league number 2. Congrats, guys. Great drafting tonight. Appreciate you guys, man. And it's going to be a great year. So let's take a look. All right, Tommy at the 1.1. We got Fields and Geno at quarterback. I like that. 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. Komet and Kincaid. I like that combo too. If you are worried about Fields getting hit, running a lot, potentially getting injured, you have a stability piece in Geno. I like Geno in the 13th as well. Komet and Kincaid, I love that for a late round tight end build. Gibbs, Madison, Javonte, Charbs, and redraft. I'm okay with 4 running backs. And I think ultimately you got pretty good value at running back tonight. At the 412, it's kind of based on your conviction. That kind of range, Sanders, Madison, Mixon, Jones, Swift, Pierce. Who do you prefer? I'm not really going to knock you prefer. The Vikings should be an efficient offense, even if they are a pass-first offense. He's fine there. I like Javonte in the 7th. I like Charbs in the 9th. J.J. Ridley, JSN, Beckham, Dell. The most important thing, I think, looking forward for your team is your wide receiver depth. One thing with going 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends is you're going to sacrifice depth somewhere, and usually it's wide receiver. So, I mean, just keep in mind, full PPR, 2 flex spots. You can flex running backs. You can even flex a tight end, you know, with maybe Kincaid, right? So don't get me wrong. But I just prefer wide receiver depth. But, you know, you still came out of your draft with a great foundation here. I think ultimately you hit on good value, and you followed your own conviction. Like, you went out and you got your guys. So I think it's a pretty good draft. I love Myers as your kicker. I was surprised he didn't take the Seahawks defense. I really was. I thought for sure you're going to take the Seahawks defense. You went with the Steelers. I mean, it's, you know, it's not going to like make or break your season or anything. It's so funny. Like, you guys start making roster moves right away. Perks already picked up Van Jefferson. Mr. Sarcastic already added the Dolphins. Oh, that was smart. You put Kyler on IR. That was smart. Anyways, Tommy, I like your team. How do you feel about it? Pray, why do I play you week 1? Why are you projected to beat me by like... Oh, it set my lineup makes no sense. That's why. Oh my gosh, you guys are... Okay, I'm getting off the league chat. Too much going on. Pray, it says you have an empty roster spot because I have 1 additional skill position player because I didn't draft a kicker. That's all. All right, boss man, what we do tonight? Hurts at quarterback. Say no more. And Conquo, yeah, that's a true test, you know. You know, obviously, 450 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns his rookie season, 32 receptions. Titans did not throw the ball a lot last year, obviously, so their passing offense worries me between Tannehill and whoever else plays at quarterback there. But in Conquo, obviously enough in his rookie season. I probably would have gone... I mean, I don't know who would even be available, but like I probably, if I'm in that position at tight end, I'm probably going like in Conquo at 12-11, then Higbee at 13.2. You know what I mean? But I mean, Carlson, obviously a great kicker. Even with Carlson being the kicker 1 the last 2 years, I'm still shoring up those positions. But, you know, just a main thing for you is going to be paying attention to the tight end position on the waiver wire, like the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Those are going to be your opportunities to really get anyone who's going to be productive on a consistent basis, barring any injuries where guys start to pop up. Sanders, Mixon, Herbert, A-Shane, Deuce Vaughn. I mean, I can live with those running backs. I was wondering when A-Shane was going to go with the injury popping up. I was almost hoping he would fall out to me in the 11th. I knew he wouldn't, though. Chase, Devonta Smith is great. Pickens, Addison, Sky Moore, Rondell Moore. Good wide receiver room. So you're starting Hurts and Nkonkwo. Sanders, Mixon, Chase, Smith, Pickens, Addison. You could also flex in Sky Moore, Herbert. So pretty good starting lineup. Let's see. I don't think I said Tommy's. You'd be starting Fields, Kmet, Gibbs, Madison, J.J. Ridley, probably JSN. Then that second flex, I mean, you got plenty of options. Javonte, Beckham, Charbs, Kincaid, Dell. So, yeah. Yeah, 2 good teams, guys. Tamo, we got Prescott, just a tremendous value in the 11th. I mean, great value. Jones, another great value in the 13th. I mean, that's about as good of an anchor quarterback build as he can hit, right? Andrews, say no more. Henry Jones, Monty Algier. Good running back room for sure. Hill, Judy, Dotson, Cooks, Thomas, Osborne. That's fine. Not my favorite late round guys, but it's fine. So you're starting Prescott and Andrews, Henry and Jones, Henry and Monty, however you want to look at it. Hill, Judy, Dotson in your first flex. And then second flex, you might have Monty, but it could be Cooks, Thomas, Osborne. Algier's probably on the bench for now. Good defense, good kicker. Pretty solid team. Like I said, not my favorite late round wide receivers. You know, like I might prefer Sky Moore over Cooks and then Sutton over Thomas, but, you know, that's all debatable, right? Osborne's probably fine where you got him. Still a very, very pass-heavy team for sure. Yeah, pretty solid squad. I mean, that's the thing. Like, as long as you have a good foundation going into the season, trades, waiver wires, injuries, players are going to pop up. Just make sure you have a good foundation, right? All right, Taylor Gang. Allen in the second. Had to go out and get your boy. No worries there. Kittle and Dulcich. I like that. Thank you. Always say, draft a second tight end behind Kittle. I said it all last offseason. I'll never forget when he missed the first 2 games of the year. You know, some of these guys at tight end just have injury history. Waller's the other guy. I'm like, draft a second tight end behind him. Anyways. Pitts might be in that area for me right now, too. Okay. Bijan, Hall, Gibson, Bigsby, Roschon. Okay. I can live with that. I mean, obviously you got 3 rookies, but, you know, if Hall is like true to form, Bijan and Hall could be very scary. Gibson was a tremendous value at 9.4 in my opinion. Higgins, McLaurin, Hollywood, Burks, Mims, pretty good wide receivers. The Bucker and Ravens defense, that's fine. So you're starting Allen and Kittle, Bijan and Hall, Higgins, McLaurin, Hollywood, and the flex. And that second flex, I'd probably have Gibson. But Burks, if healthy, you know, obviously he's got the LCL sprain, could filter in there. And you've got some good kind of pieces, rookie pieces, Bigsby, Roschon, and Mims that as the season goes on could be valuable as well. So, yeah. Pretty solid squad. Mr. Sarcastic. So, drafted Richardson, Purdy, and Murray, but Murray's on your IR, and now you have the Dolphins defense as your starting defense. So, Tommy says I was tripping, got my Hawks defense. Good. I'm glad, bro. I thought for sure you'd take him. So I actually think that was a pretty smart move. You know, if you're going late round quarterback and you like Richardson and Purdy for different reasons, but you go in and get Kyler as that third piece. Now Kyler's on your IR. I mean, yeah, I like that. I forgot that was a thing I wanted to do this year, and then I just didn't do it. But I'm glad you did it. Freiermuth, love Freiermuth. I like this team. I mean, C-Mac, Swift, Pacheco, Cook. I love your running backs. Think you got great running back value. Olave, Debo, Watson, solid start at wide receiver. Quentin Johnson, Myers, Hodgins, all good values. Where you got them. You got Elliott. Now you got the Dolphins defense with Murray on IR. I think it's a very good team. A lot of upside here. This is a team I'd watch out for. Quarterback's your biggest question mark. What does Richardson do in his rookie season? What does Brock do in his return? But I like both those guys for different reasons. So, and you got Kyler down the stretch. Oh, that team's a little scary. I saw your moves, Cats. Yeah, we got moves all over the place. But I'm going by the draft. All right, Emil. Went for the stack. Mahomes and Kelsey. Higbee, why not? Good value there, right? Stevenson, Pierce, Kamara, Brian Robinson, great running backs. Why not add Fournette, I guess? Wait. Oh, this is a month ago. I was like, wait, why is he working out for the Patriots? Anyways. I was wondering, did Zeke get drafted? He went to Shane. Okay. Kirk, Evans, Sutton, Lazard, Mooney. So, like, I mean, the one thing with your team is wide receiver doesn't have a tremendous amount of upside. Is definitely the weakest part of the team. I don't mind going Kirk there. I mean, I don't have a problem with that at all. I mean, Evans, Sutton, Lazard, and Mooney are all good values where you got them, but you just don't have that, like, clear-cut stud guy. As much as I like Kirk. I mean, maybe Kirk is that guy for you. Maybe Evans provides enough value. But, as you know, it's just going to be important for you to be paying attention to receivers on the waiver wire. But you trade off that upside with Mahomes and Kelsey, and Stevenson was a great value in the third, I think. So you're starting Mahomes, Kelsey, Stevenson, Pierce, Kirk, Evans. Then I think your flex is really up to your own judgment. You know, Sutton can definitely be a solid piece there. Brian Robinson can be, Kamara when he comes back, but then even Lazard and Mooney, this is full PPR. Those guys are going to be okay. You got Tucker in the Bills defense. I still think this is a good team, but it's almost like a 0 wide receiver strat. Almost a hero wide receiver strat with Kirk. But I have a lot of faith in Kirk, so I don't know. But yeah, your upside, your value comes from Kelsey and Mahomes, right? All right, Shane, what we do, man? Watson at QB. That's fine. It is interesting. I do want to make that note. Like, Watson and Tua, who were guys you could get like end of the 8th, 9th, 10th round in mocks, depending on the mock. Both those guys are going a little bit earlier. Tua went in the 7th last night. He went in the 7th tonight. Watson, still went in the 8th last night, but goes to 7.7 tonight. But all I'm saying is that tier of quarterbacks, guys are still trying to secure the Watson and Tua, and I'm surprised Prescott is not in that tier as well, based on the drafts we've done so far. All right, Watson and T-Hawk, you're fine. Eckler, Jacobs, Connor, nice. Zeke, Miller, Chuba. I like, redraft handcuff value there at the end. Looks good. Waddle, Godwin, Davis, Tony, J-Mo, and Chark. Solid enough. This is your big question mark. Davis, Tony, and J-Mo. How much true value do you get out of these guys? How much boom or bust do they end up being? How much consistency do you get? Because Godwin and Waddle will be consistent. You're going to have to filter these guys in your 2 flex spots. And, they're definitely okay in the flex because that's where you want that maybe that back and forth boom or bust scenario. But just have to see what happens. All right, so you're starting Watson and T-Hawk, Eckler, and assuming it's Jacobs, if not, it's Connor, Waddle, and Godwin, and that kind of affects things like, is Connor in your flex? Is he your RB2? Is Jacobs around? We'll find out. Nonetheless, Connor as RB3 is good. So let's just say it's Watson, T-Hawk, Eckler, Jacobs, Waddle, Godwin, Davis, Tony. That's still a good lineup. And Davis and Tony are still bringing that upside, right? And J-Mo down the stretch certainly could as well, though now he's having his hamstring issues and everything. So Zeke and Miller, I like where you got those guys. Chark could end up having a lot of value this year too. And I like Chuba. So, I like Chuba to a degree. But, in redraft, those kind of handcuff running backs have their own value, right? So looks pretty solid. All right, box in the jack, we got Burrow, quarterback, the Goodert, tight end. You're good there. Dobbins, Akers, McKinnon, Mitchell, Hunt. You said you don't like your running backs. Everything's dependent on Dobbins and Akers. Whatever they do, if they're good enough, this team could be really nice. Kupp, St. Brown, Cooper, Allen was a very nice start. The only team to go 4 wide receivers to start. Juju in the 10th, Pierce in the 15th were fine. Niners defense, Younghoe Koo. So you're starting Burrow and Goddard, Dobbins and Akers, Kupp, St. Brown, flexing Cooper, flexing Allen. I don't know, man. I really like that lineup, actually. McKinnon, Juju, Mitchell, Hunt, Pierce on the bench. I don't know, man. Depending on where Hunt goes, Yeah, I think it's a solid team, man. But the biggest thing for you is what type of production do you get out of Dobbins, Akers, McKinnon, and even Mitchell and Hunt, for that matter. But I don't know, man. If you can figure out the RB1, RB2 spot throughout the year and you can get consistent pieces there, this team can be very nice. Cats. We got Lamar, Action, Jackson. We got Pitts at tight end. Good enough. Pollard, JT could end up being really nice for you, man. Warren, Harris, Wilson, White, all those guys are fine where you took them. I was very close to taking Zamir White as well. Diggs, I love the value you got on Ayuk. Great value on Deontay. Great value on Elijah Moore. Bateman's fine in the 9th. Jones is fine in the 13th. A good draft for you, man. So you're starting Lamar and Pitts, Pollard, and let's say JT, if not, probably Harris. Diggs, Ayuk, Deontay, flexing Elijah Moore. Good starting lineup. Good handcuffs on the bench. Good enough wide receivers on the bench. You got Dicker the kicker, the Dicker, Dicker the kicker. I never get that right. I don't know why. What's wrong with me? But I like this team. I think he just got good value tonight. It's not like the craziest team, but I think he just hit on good value, which can build a good foundation and head you into the season pretty well. So I like this team. Uh-oh. Pray. Okay. I forgot we let Prey play in the league this year. I don't know if that was smart. I'm just kidding. Prey, love you, man. All right. Tua and Rodgers. That's fine. I'm glad you got your boy Tua. Ingram at tight end. I like that pick for you. I wanted Ingram there. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping Ingram would have fell to me. But he was like your savior last year, so I get that. And you kind of sniped me like twice tonight. I wanted to go Barkley in the first. I wanted Ingram there. I knew you'd come out and haunt me tonight, man. All right, Barkley, Harris, Dillon, Jamal Williams, Foreman. I think you got really good running back value tonight. Adams, Metcalf, Hopkins, Lockett, Thielen. I mean, that's fine. You know, I think maybe instead of going Lockett, maybe I go Deontay or Hollywood or Dotson just to diversify out of that offense. Like, it's harder to say, like, you should have gone, like, Allen or DJ Moore or whatever at 310 because you didn't know you're going to get Lockett. But I still don't have a problem necessarily having Metcalf and Lockett, but at times it's going to be a little bit of a headache for you. So you could have maybe diversified out of that offense, but you know, Cowboys defense, Sanders at kicker. I think ultimately you have a good team, man. So you're starting Tua and Ingram, Barkley and Harris. I do think Harris was a good value at the 4-3. Adams and Metcalf, flexing Hopkins, flexing Lockett. You got Dillon, Jamal, Thielen, Foreman on the bench. Pretty solid. I mean, the one thing I will say is you probably want to pay attention to wide receiver depth as the season goes on. You know, you only have one wide receiver on the bench, and it's crusty Adam Thielen, so that'd be the only thing I'd think about here. But this feels like a very prey team, and I think you had a good draft, man. I'm proud of you. All right, we'll do my team last. Let's look at Jay Fitness. I know he's been waiting. All right, Herbie fully loaded. Now, let me ask you this question. Would you have taken T-Law over Herbert? I really want to know because I wanted T-Law, and I knew if I didn't go T-Law there's a chance, and I would have been okay with Herbert. I was also worried you might want Rachaad White. So I was really back and forth at, like, who do I pick right here? And I was like, ultimately, I think I'll survive if I don't get Rachaad White, but I really want T-Law. Like, at the same time, I would have been okay with Herbert. I think he's going to have a really good year. But I was torn. I thought there's a chance you took T-Law or White. And you're saying I wanted Herbert over T-Law. Okay. And you got the stack, too, with Williams. So that worked for you, I think. All right, so Herbert and Waller, that's fine. I still like a second tight end behind Waller, but you can figure that out if you want. Chubb, ETN. I liked ETN in the fourth. Penny, Purine, Mostart. A fine backfield for a redraft league. Brown, London. I have no problem that you went London at 312 if that's your guy. He went in the third last night as well, right, J-Dubs? Or did you pick him in the fourth? Either way, I don't have a problem taking him there. Mike Williams, a great value. Pittman was a great value. I mean, honestly, man, for going tight end in the first 7 rounds, quarterback in the first 5 rounds, running back in the 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds, getting Williams as your wide receiver 3 and Pittman as your wide receiver 4 was the best overall value in the whole draft, in my opinion. Collins, Mingo, whatever. You know, like, Collins has a chance to be wide receiver 1, so does Mingo. Why not take the shot? Money Max, Saints defense, you're fine there. So, yeah, J-Dubs took London last night. Yeah, like, I don't have a problem with London in the third at all. Yeah, man, I mean, I just think your wide receiver room, the value you got them at, being able to go double running back, a QB, and tight end through the first 7 rounds was tremendous for you, man. So you're starting Herbert and Waller, Chubb and ETN, Brown, London, Williams, Pittman. I mean, a great draft for you, man. Really, really good draft. You know, you're filtering those handcuffs on the bench, but that's okay. You can get by with that. And I really like ETN this year, guys. I really do. So, I mean, Chubb and ETN, I love that combo. You got 2 wide receivers on the bench. You could be primary guys. A little bit of risk there, but the upside is worth it. Yeah, man. I think you had a good draft. All right. What did I do tonight? Interesting draft for me. Okay, T-Lock, quarterback, and Njoku, tight end. That's fine, right? Walker, we already talked about why I took Walker there. But honestly, like Walker, Harris, ETN, I was kind of torn. I almost went double running back right there. I just couldn't pass on DJ Moore. So Walker, White, Cook, Singletary, Gainwell. I mean, running back is probably the weakest part of this team. But I do think Walker and White provide enough value that I can start those guys. They just got to be healthy for me, right? Cook, I was kind of torn right there. Cook, Dillon, Brian Robinson, Gibson. I was torn. I think Singletary and Gainwell are fine where I took them. I think the wide receiver room is fine. Lamb, Wilson, DJ Moore, Flowers, Dobbs, Shaheed, and Jalen Hyatt. I think this team's okay. I mean, I'm starting T-Law and Njoku, Walker and White, Lamb and Wilson, flexing DJ Moore. And that second flex, Zay Flowers, Romeo Dobbs, maybe Shaheed or Hyatt have enough value. Got a good defense. I went to drop someone for a kicker, but, I'm fine with this team. I just I didn't have any plan for last night's draft or tonight's draft. Just kind of like went with the flow with things, and I'm perfectly fine with this draft. But it does feel like there's just something small missing here. I can't put my finger on what it is, but I do like this team. Vincent, have a great night, my dude. For sure, Tommy. It was a fun draft, fun stream, fun night for sure. I'm glad you guys are a part of the league this year, part of the community. And it's going to be a great season. For sure. Draft of the night is tough. I might just go with, I know it's the easy answer. I might go Jay Fitness because of those first 8 rounds. He just knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park, man. But there are a couple other teams I really liked. I like Box and the Jacks team a lot. If Dobbins and Akers work out, or even like Dobbins and McKinnon or Akers and McKinnon, I think he had a really good first 8 rounds as well. I do really like this team. I thought Tommy actually drafted a really well-balanced team as well. I feel like he's having doubts in the chat, but I felt like Tommy's team was a good foundational team for sure. I thought Bossman got some really good values. I really liked Mr. Sarcastic's team a lot as well. Once quarterback's polished out, and I like Purdy. I think Richardson's got the upside. I like Kyler down the stretch. Love Freiermuth. But C-Mac, Swift, Pacheco, Cook, Olave, Debo, Watson, Quentin Johnson, Myers, Hodgins. I do really like that team overall. That might be my favorite team overall. I think you might have a little bit of volatility at quarterback at times. I do think Jay Fitness had a tremendous amount of value through those first 8 rounds, though. So, a lot of really good drafts tonight, guys. Every single one of these leagues is going to be super competitive. Each draft's going to be a little bit different, but yeah, a lot of good drafting by you guys overall, and definitely going to be a fun competitive league as always. Fantasy Pros gives me 38% to make playoffs. I wouldn't read too much into that. Roshan Johnson, a must draft. I do like Johnson at his value for sure. But now we kind of got Herbert popping off, and like Foreman still there. Fields going to run. But I do like Roshan Johnson quite a bit. All right, guys. So I guess that wraps it up for the night. Hour and a half in. Hit all the team reviews. Not much more to say. So I should be back on tomorrow night. I don't see why not. I might hop on tomorrow morning. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I say that every Saturday night. It just depends on how my Sunday morning gets going. So maybe we'll do an early stream tomorrow. I do need to like record quite a bit tomorrow. So I mean, yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mock draft requests. So I need to get that figured out. A little behind. But one last announcement here, guys. If you're an active YouTube member with the channel and you guys are paying the $4.99 membership, I have one spot open for the auction league this year, and it's either 5 or 6 spots open for the Superflex league this year. So have to be a YouTube member to join those leagues. Those are the last 2 leagues of the season. Obviously, we have 2 more redraft leagues that we'll be drafting next weekend, one on Friday, one on Saturday. But if you guys want in, and you're an active YouTube member, please let me know because I definitely want to get those filled. J-Dub's gifting a membership. It's Chase Brown of all people. Tommy, I'll send you a message on Discord. J-Dub, thank you for gifting a 1-month membership. Okay, guys, make sure you hit the like on the way out. Thank you guys for being here. Very active stream tonight, just like last night. I appreciate you guys. It's that time of year. You love to see it. And good drafting, everyone in League 2. Congrats, guys. It's going to be a great season. We're going to have a blast. And, yeah, man. Hope everyone has a great, safe rest of the weekend. And that's going to wrap it up. So, love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. Hit the like, subscribe. Check out the links down below. Follow us on Instagram. Join our free Discord. And that wraps it up. You guys know who you are. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. And, GG's. I don't know. I just said that. It's at the bottom of the chat. But, yeah, good drafting, guys. And I'm excited for now we don't have like another draft for another week. And I'm excited for the next one to come up. So. All right, guys. That'll wrap it up. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And